From the John DeVita Broadcast Center, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norris. So sit back and enjoy Paranormal Radio. And now here he is, at his age, still waiting for Santa Claus, Mr. Bob Trisek.
Thank you, John. Yes, indeed, I am still waiting for Santa Claus, and he will be coming in a couple of days. So, happy holiday season to everybody out there that's listening to Paranormal Radio. We are taping this broadcast on a Monday night at 7 p.m., but you will be hearing it at a later date. You will hear it on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS in Norwich here. That will be tomorrow. Tomorrow at what time, John? Tomorrow at 10:30, you will hear the broadcast there. And then within a day or two, our producer here, Mr. John Shakanda, posts the shows up on the Windy City Network, www.windycityhometown.com, and also, too, on YouTube. Go up on YouTube. If you want to listen to the broadcast, go to YouTube, punch in Paranormal Radio, and put my name in, Bob, last name Trazek, T-R-Z-E-C-I-A-K, and the broadcast will come up, and you can hear it. So if you'd like to call in, and I think we got a caller already, as a matter of fact. Tonight we have with us Jorianne, who is the coffee psychic. Jorianne is a fantastic guest. I had Jorianne on, some time ago when I was doing the shows at WARG Radio over at the Argo High School. That was about 3 years or so ago, wasn't it? It was
I think so.
And incidentally, the lady that was on with you that night, I don't know if you remember Jacqueline Stigman that wrote the book.
Yeah.
And that I contacted her by Facebook. She lives in Manhattan, and she said to tell you hello. So, because
hey.
she liked being on with you and that, yeah. And she will maybe be back on with us in the fall. She lives in New York, in Manhattan, and I think in October or November of the next year of 2016, she'll be making her way in, and we'll get her back on again, too. She's writing another book, so we'll have her on for that. Jorianne is a very interesting person. She does readings with coffee. It's interesting how she does this. Of course, we'll be describing this as Jorianne does it because this is radio. You can't see it. Before we get started with that, I just want to make a couple of announcements here. Where I'm going to be at, because people ask me all the time, what am I doing and what am I up to? And I'm up to a lot of things lately. Next week, for New Year's Eve, I will be over at Chuck's restaurant. That's Chuck's Southern Comforts Cafe. That's over on 79th and Natchez in Burbank. It's right across the street from the Burbank Police Station. And I'll be there doing palm readings. So if you want to stop in and have something to eat there for New Year's and party there, I'll be there doing readings for people. Starting up in January, on January 14th, I'm starting a new thing with Orsi's Pizza and Chester's Tavern. It's kind of a combination pizza and tavern type place there, a very nice place. Went there for a Christmas party this year and talked with them and struck up a deal with them, and I'm going to be coming there on January 14th and doing some readings with them. And then in April, I've got some stuff coming up, some lectures and things at some of the local libraries in May, and I'll be announcing those as they come up. In March, we've got some things going on. Working on some sponsorships here with a few people. Hopefully, Orsi's will end up being a sponsor for Paranormal Radio here at the Windy City Network, and also to the Summit Park District. I'm looking to see if we can get a sponsorship out of them and see if they will sponsor our show here, because that's how these things work. Everything works on money, so we need some sponsors to keep the shows going, because they cost Mr. John DeVita a little bit of money to keep these shows running. Jorianne, welcome back to Paranormal Radio. It's so nice to see you again and nice to have you back on.
Bob, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we have a caller already, John? Okay, we already have a caller, so I'm going to go right ahead and we're going to take the caller. Okay, we have... Hello?
Hello?
Hi there, who is this?
This is Donna Alnecker.
Oh, Donna, hi. Yeah, you have a call for Jorianne?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Jorianne, can you hear her?
Hi, Donna. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. So what question do you have, Donna?
I just have a question about my direction heading into 2016.
Okay. All right.
Okay, here she goes now. This is the way she does this. She's pouring some coffee into a cup. We made a fresh pot of coffee here at the studio just before we did the show here. And so she pours in like maybe, about a quarter of a cup or half a cup?
Yeah,
And then she pours in a little bit of cream into the coffee.
Well, Donna, your coffee is definitely going in a clockwise motion, and I'm not sure, were you planning on doing some traveling this next year?
I'm always up for traveling.
Good, because I see an airplane here. And I also have to say, I also get dental work around you or somebody else right around you. Has anyone needed dental work?
Probably myself.
Okay, good. And then any problem with your back?
No.
Okay, who's got the problems with their back right now?
I don't know of anyone. I mean, I wake up sometimes in the morning and I'm stiff.
Okay, so
it corrects itself.
So that could be it, though, because I'm definitely seeing a back issue here. And Yeah, see, there's even something with your shoes. So I don't know if that makes sense yet, but because I get information that is past, present, and future, if it doesn't make sense right now, I'd want you to watch for something around your shoes.
Okay.
Which could impact your back.
Is that
Hello?
making sense? Is that making sense to you, Donna?
Yeah, well, I definitely will watch, which, like she said, to watch my back and my shoes.
Yes. And then also there's Arizona in your coffee.
There is.
There is.
Oh, that's great. I love Arizona. That would be fabulous.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay. Can you see anything as far as my businesses or
Well, like I said,
finance?
the coffee is looking very good for you this year. So,
It is?
yeah. And I would say 3 businesses or 4. How many?
2?
Oh, no. I think you're going to have more than 2. Just share it. And then it looks like in one of the areas the well will run dry in one of your business adventures, and that'll be the time to get out of that one. Don't throw good money after bad.
Okay.
All right. Do you know which one that looks like already?
No, I don't.
Okay. So just kind of keep your eyes open on that. But you're definitely going to have more than 2 businesses here, Donna.
Okay.
Yeah. And then again, a lot of good success for you. So, yeah, that's what I want to say.
Great. Thank you so very much.
Hey, good
That's
luck.
good news heading into the new year.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I want to say happy birthday, too. Is it your birthday recently or somebody else right around you?
No, I have relatives that had a birthday, brothers that just had a birthday
Good,
on
good.
the 19th.
Perfect. Well, you have a Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you so very much.
All right.
I appreciate everything you told me and shared with me.
Thanks so much, Donna.
Bye-bye, Donna. Thank you
a
for
happy
calling.
holiday.
Thank you for calling, Donna. Bye-bye. Happy holidays to you.
Bye.
Beautiful.
Very nice. Yeah. I think she was happy with the reading, and it seemed like you were pretty good about that. Now, something you may get out of doing readings, like I do, because like I said, I do palm readings. Sometimes things you tell people at the time you're telling it may not make sense to them.
No.
They're saying like, what is that about? Travel, Arizona, something with my feet, with my back hurting, whatever. But sometimes this comes up down the line, and then later on they say, oh, yeah, that's what she told me, or yeah, that's what you said. So,
And I have to say, I don't think that I knew that you did palm readings.
I've been doing them. Yeah, I've been doing them for some time. So, yeah.
But I don't think I knew it.
Oh, okay. You didn't know that. All right. Well, now you
so
know.
I'm going like, wow, I'm with another psychic.
Not really.
How great
Now, see,
is that?
I kind of make that clear with people that when I do the readings, I'm not really psychic. Although I think it has a little bit of intuitiveness to it. But
Sure.
I tell them I'm basically reading what I'm seeing in your hand. That's what I do. I'm reading it. So I try to tell people I don't have any special, strange powers. I don't sit there with a turban on my head and make chants to the planets or anything like that. But yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
So so I'm going to ask you, then when did you learn how to become a palmist?
I can't remember. That's another one. I can't remember not doing it. I did it for a long time. I studied it up on my own and everything, and I wasn't doing it so much like for the public and for people. I thought it was just something that I was interested in. And boy, I was wrong about that because there are many people interested in this.
You
And
bet.
what really got me and gave me the encouragement to do it more and do it more professionally, if you want to call what I do professionally. I don't really do it that much to call it like I make my living at this, like you do. You do this quite a bit. But I went to New Orleans. I've been to New Orleans many, many times, and there was one reader in New Orleans that I really liked, and I had a session with him on palm reading. And it was supposed to be like an hour session. Well, we hit it off so well. I was there like the whole afternoon for like 4 hours with him.
Wow.
And he said, you're really kind of good at this, and you should be doing it more than you're doing it. And I thought, well, okay, if this guy's the instructor and he's telling me this, maybe there's something here that I'm missing. So then I started doing it more and started doing it more for the public and that kind of thing, and parties and things. And
Wow.
yeah, so yeah, kind of, how it goes, kind of snowballs
Sure.
that way. And that actually kind of led to me getting the first radio show that I did, because I
Wow.
started reading palms for people that used to come into the business that I worked for. They would come in, I'd read their palms and everything. They said, why don't you get him on the radio over there and let him, come on as a guest or something like that. So that's what I did. So it kind of led that way, and then it, one thing led to another, that kind of thing. How it goes.
How cool.
Yeah, stuff
How
kind of
cool.
snowballs. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to give some plugs in for Jorianne here. Jorianne, the coffee psychic. Jorianne has a radio show that she does weekly. It's a blog site. She does it weekly on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. That's blogtalkradio.com. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Or you can also get her at Coffee Psychic. Is it all one word? CoffeePsychic.com.
It is.
CoffeePsychic.com. Or Jorianne also likes to give out her phone number, which is how I get a hold of her, because I still kept her card from when I had her on as a guest it was about 3 or 4 years ago. It was some time when we had you on, yeah. And her phone number is 219-940-2929. 9292. If you need to get a hold of Jorianne to book her for any engagements or parties or anything, or talk or let her do a reading for you. Do private readings for people who are going to?
You get a more in-depth reading. I do a lot of different radio shows, and I'm out in Wisconsin every other week. I do Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska, okay.
Yep, Lincoln, Nebraska. I go out there a couple times a year, do a lot of business out there. And but yeah, people can call up for house parties. I do seances.
Oh, you do seances. Oh,
every month.
We're going to have to get you for a seance, yeah.
I do private seances. I go into like an altered state, so my eyes roll in the back of my head, my face changes, my voice changes. Very
I don't
fun.
know. I don't know if we want to see that. I mean, you're nice looking the way you are now. I don't know if we want to see your eyes roll and your face change.
I just tell people there's no split pea soup, and my head stays stationary on my head. It does not.
Would you be willing? Would you be willing, maybe someday, or would this maybe not work for you if one day we were to get some people here and do a seance on the air?
I think that'd be fantastic.
Would that work for you? Okay,
sure.
This will be something we'll do down the future for Paranormal Radio. We'll plan that out. Yeah, we'll do it at your convenience, though, when you're able to do it. We'll get you back on here, and we'll do a seance. We'll get some people lined up for you, and we'll do a seance on the air.
That'd be great.
That's if you're willing to do it. I know some of them like to do this not on the air type thing and that.
Oh, I don't care.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, it'd be okay. So here's the thing. So sometimes it would be slower because when the spirits speak through me, it's either if I'm talking like this, then I'm normally back in my body. And then I see people like outside the person's body, or I'll tell them what they're saying, or my body might go to the right or to the left or blink certain ways, and the people go like, oh my God, that's what my mom used to do all the time. So when that happens, that's great. But if my voice gets very soft and moderated and stuff like this, and I speak a little more slowly, it doesn't even sound like me, honestly. That's when it's the spirits coming through.
So you're a medium as well as a coffee reader.
Yes, I am a trance medium.
The coffee psychic, I have to admit, you're the only coffee psychic I know. You're the only person that does this. It's a very unique thing. Are there other coffee psychics out there doing this?
Yeah, there's other coffee psychics, but they normally do the Turkish coffee. They do the Greek coffee.
Where they read the grounds type thing, like tea leaves. Yeah.
Yes, and the images in the bottom of the coffee, things like this. But I learned this so long ago. It was over 30 years ago. When my sister-in-law's cousin, she's Hispanic, we got together and psychic, and we got together to discuss different forms of divining information psychically.
Okay.
And she said in the Hispanic culture, they take a black cup of coffee, they pour cream into it, and as they're pouring the cream in, it forms images at the top of the coffee. So when I'd see these pictures and these images, I'd be going like, oh my God. And if I said to somebody, well, did you have a broken leg? And they're like, well, yes, I did. Just had the cast taken off, stuff like this. So the things I saw were just amazing. And
yeah, you're pretty spot on. I have to admit that. I was listening to the broadcast. I tape all my broadcasts, and I was listening to the show that we did some time ago. And you're pretty spot on with what you do. Yeah, you really are. You have pretty good accuracy. And with our first caller that we had tonight here, Donna, she seemed pretty happy with the reading. What I'm curious about though is like you do like I say, we're on radio here, so we'll be explaining some of this to you because you obviously can't see it on radio. Jorianne will take the coffee cup, she pours it in, and then she pours the cream in. I would think if the person's here and they pour the coffee and they pour the cream, they handle it. It goes that way. But this is a reading you get this way for everybody by you doing it too.
Yeah, I do. I do readings by phone. I read people in Canada, New Zealand, Australia. So you don't have to be right in the same room.
Present,
some people think that you do, but it's like, no, you don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and the pictures are so amazing. I was so floored by the picture last week that I took a picture with my camera and I texted it to the woman. She was like, oh my God. You could see a man's full body in there. You could see fire, because I told her something about a fire. Oh my God, Bob, the stuff that you could see was simply amazing.
Okay, I'm going to have you do a coffee reading for me, and I'm going to see what you see for me here.
Yeah.
Because there's some things you know about me, but there's a lot you don't know, and we'll see what comes up on this. So go ahead. You want to pour it there, or do you want me to do it?
Nope, I pour the coffee.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Now, I will say this to you. Who's having stomach problems around you? Remember, it's information on you. Past, present,
already?
and future.
Now you've already got this? You haven't even poured the cream in the coffee. You're already picking that up. Wow.
It just starts coming.
There is someone that's having some problem, not really with stomach, but having some problem with kidneys.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my brother. He's having some problems with some kidney stones. I just went through it. I went through about 4 surgeries a couple of months ago.
Oh, you did?
And I just went through a big bout with that. And now, unfortunately, my poor brother Ray has got him, but not so bad. He's not experiencing a lot of pain with it, so he's doing okay.
Okay, and also, I'm going to say dental also. Any dental around you or somebody close? So then you keep
nothing
your eyes...
that I can think of. I do have a dental appointment. I just went to the dentist 2 weeks ago. I do have an appointment coming up January 4th, but no work or anything's going on.
Okay, but still the dentist is going to be... You'll still be seeing a dentist. Yeah. Because I'm hearing dentist, so that's what I heard. And then, were you thinking about writing a book, Bob?
Well, all the time writing a book, yeah. People have mentioned it to me that I should be writing a book, but I am going to start doing some writing. I'm
Good
I'm
deal.
gonna start doing a little newspaper column. I'm gonna start writing that
Yes.
one coming up in January. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's you're okay with this so far? What you're telling me,
Good, good.
Yeah.
And then who had any issues around the knee area?
Oh well, I've had knee surgeries and everything since you last seen me. I had a lot of leg troubles
Knee
and
stuff?
things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that. And the only other person I could think of that's having knee problems would be my sister-in-law, and she's kind of had an ongoing thing too for a long time with hers. Yeah.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
knee speaks to you, so you know
Yeah.
what the knee is.
Mhm.
Okay. You've got angels that work with you. When I looked in the coffee, I saw angels right away.
Oh, that's good to know.
That
Yeah.
is very good to know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
work with angels. All right. And you might actually start working with some angels, Bob.
Okay.
And then, knock on wood, God forbid, I hope no one fell, but I just saw a figure falling. So just to
okay.
let you know, I always tell people if there looks like there's something that you should be careful of, then I'm going to share that with you too. And then why do I see Wisconsin around you?
Around me, I can't imagine why you would. Now, I have nothing planned for Wisconsin.
Okay.
Nothing, no vacations coming up to Wisconsin. I do love Wisconsin. I love the Dells. No matter where I travel in the world, I still love Wisconsin Dells. However, you might be picking up on John. John goes to Wisconsin all the time.
Oh,
John was in the
nice.
studio, although I don't know if that would come up on this reading. It would have to be maybe a reading for him.
Well-
he just came back from Wisconsin this morning. He's there every weekend.
Oh, see, now it could be you or somebody right around you too. So
Well,
if you're
John's
good
around
friends
us.
with
He's
John-
right here. So, yeah, so maybe you're picking up on him. Yeah.
All right, great,
Because
great.
John is in Wisconsin every weekend. He goes up there. He has family up there, and he has another home up there. He does all the decorating and stuff that you see here, all the Christmas lights and everything.
Beautiful.
He does the same thing in Wisconsin at the house up there. So he's very, very active with all that. Yeah.
Beautiful,
So
beautiful.
you might be picking up on him.
That could be.
Yeah.
That could be. Unless you still go to Wisconsin, let me know.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
I love the feedback. People give me feedback.
Yeah.
all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time.
Definitely. I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I
beautiful.
see. I know how this is. Like I say, I do readings too, and sometimes right at that moment you say, "Oh, I don't know," but then in January something comes up, or a couple of weeks something comes up, and there's an opportunity for a trip and that. And I was thinking about the Dells. I said, "Yeah, I haven't been up there in a couple of years. I want to go back." So it's been
Good.
in my mind. It's been in the back burner there. So okay, so you're picking up on that. Yeah.
Good,
okay. Yeah.
good. Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect. All right. So then I ask people also, and I don't know if this makes any sense, but I just saw an eagle, and also I heard Greece. So,
You heard the music from Greece?
nope, the country.
Oh, Greece, the country Greece. Oh no, that would be interesting. Now, I'm not Greek myself, no Greek background here, ethnic background. I've never been to Greece. Yeah, well, if I'm going to Greece, I'll certainly look forward to it. But
Or something connected to Greece. So remember that.
okay, I'm going to remember that one because I'm drawing a blank on that one. I have to say, yeah, that one, nothing's coming up for me on that one. But like I say, this could be something down the line here. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Perfect. Well, that's what I'm getting.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes. You are welcome.
So you're good on a couple of things there. A couple of them, like I says, I can't say you're bad on them. I just right at the moment they're not making any sense.
Can't
I know-
relate.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Can't relate right at the moment. I know how this works because I have the same thing with me when I do palm readings like that. Sometimes you get this about people. I say you haven't been to the dentist in a while. I'm seeing this here. You just need to go. Don't get upset about this or worry. Just go get your checkup. Go get them looked at and that kind of. And they says, yeah, you're right. I haven't been in a while. I do need to go and this kind of stuff. So I know how these things work. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
We have any other callers there that popped up first? No, nothing. I'm surprised because I put the number up on the Facebook page and I called people last night and everything and I says, call us at 7 here and we'll see who calls up. Okay.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, then, would John like a reading?
Go ahead. Do a reading for John.
John, would you like a reading?
Well, I don't know.
What have you got to lose, John?
I promise I'll be gentle, John.
Okay.
I mean, look at this face. All right, let's take a peek here. Hey, John, so the information I get is past, present, and future.
That's correct. I've been past president of a fire department organization called the 511 Club.
Wow, wow. Hey, I've got to ask you, any connection to dogs?
Dogs?
Yes, sir.
Not really, but I love dogs and I would like to get a little puppy.
All right, good, because I swear to God, as soon as I start tapping into you, I'm getting a dog, and it does look little. It doesn't look really big here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
And then any connection, any sisters for you?
Yes, I have a beautiful sister up in Wisconsin.
Beautiful. And was there anyone that passed away around you, a lady, sir?
A lady?
Yep.
Not a lady, no. Not a lady, no. Not recently, no.
No, it doesn't have to be recent.
Well, the last lady I could think of might be my mother. That was back March in '02.
Oh, two. I just get a woman around you that really cares very deeply for you. She was a very nice woman, good person. It looks like she had brown hair. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't know if she liked dyeing it or not, but I just see somebody that really she felt youthful a lot.
Mm-hmm. No, not that I can think of at this particular moment.
That was not matching. Okay.
Okay, that's okay. Just know that there's somebody on the other side that really is watching out for you, and she is a woman. It almost felt like she might have been a sister or a sister-in-law. Maybe she was a friend around your age or something, but a really nice lady.
No, not to my knowledge.
Are you trying to say you don't know any really nice ladies, or you never know?
That have crossed over?
Now, just to play the devil's advocate here for just a moment. Now, when you say something like this, or I see a woman that was passed away or something like that, well, isn't that sort of, and like I say now, just to play devil's advocate on this, and I want to hear your response to it, isn't that something that's like general enough to be true for most people? I mean, most people have had someone, in their families that have passed away, a woman or a man that have passed away. Yeah, so.
Positively. But like this afternoon, I was doing a channeling. This man came. His sister had passed, but immediately I said, isn't there something with not tacos, what's the other one that they make, the Hispanic
burritos, enchiladas, tostadas,
it's meat in the side and it's corn on the outside and it's
tamales.
Tamales. And he says, oh my God, he goes, I've been praying to her for the tamale recipe. So that was this afternoon, right?
Uh-huh.
So, but again, I would wonder to me, if it was your mom, I would normally hear mother or mother figure. Mm-hmm. But this woman that I'm feeling around you, she just feels really nice, real sweet, more like a sister-in-law or friend kind of person, but not mom, because I would have heard your mom, I would have felt the presence of your mother.
No, and nobody at this particular moment.
Maybe you had somebody that was sweet on you and you just didn't know it.
Well, it could be possible.
Could be. Well, anyway, just know that unless, now here's another idea. It could be that maybe somebody passed away and you don't know about it yet. I've had that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So, and it wouldn't be a mom kind of person.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
okay.
If anything happens, let me know.
Anything else in there for John there? I interrupted you kind of there.
Oh, no, yes, positively.
Mm-hmm.
So, John, wouldn't you say that you've had some good luck following you?
Yes, I have. I've had a young lad up in Wisconsin that I met about a couple of months ago, and he's been really a great helper to me up there. And I have a young lad that lives with me upstairs that's been good. So yeah, I did run into a young lad up in Wisconsin. His name was Ryan Pearson, who has been just fantastic, wonderful. For a 16-year-old young man, I can't
wow.
say enough good things about him.
How great. Well, I'm getting like 4-leaf clovers around you, so that's good luck. Mm-hmm. And it also makes me question about Irish, too.
Irish?
Yeah.
Well, my brother-in-law was Irish because he passed away, but he was Irish. And Ryan is Irish, too, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
So that's the good luck with that young man.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And then any this is just what's coming. Any cracks in the foundation or any cracks somewhere in a house that needs to be repaired that you can think of?
No.
Okay, then when I see that stuff right away, I tell people, please keep your eyes open because something could be happening. You got to watch for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know how that pops up suddenly, last minute kind of thing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was going to say, I'll start looking around here. We do the show from the basement in John's house, but you've got nice paneling all over the place here, so we can't really see.
Very nice.
We can't see we can't see any holes in the wall here. Yeah.
Yep. And then, so the last thing I'm seeing, anything with some sort of soda bread or toast, anything that's like a favorite, like a bread or a cake kind of thing.
Well, I like all kinds of cakes. In fact, I'm going to make a pound cake tomorrow.
Are you good for Christmas?
No, tomorrow's Oscar's birthday. He's going to be 29 years old tomorrow.
Oh, how great
is that?
So
we have a big, a nice dinner for him, and I always make a birthday cake for him.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, me nothing. Yeah, Oscar, pound cake, and birthdays. Yeah, nothing. Me. No, I'm kidding. John's very good to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying, John.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. Okay. You're welcome. All right.
Okay, so some stuff there again now. Some things, okay, that he could really relate to and say, yeah, okay, we picked up on the Irish and on this and that, and the person that you said is the lucky thing for you and that. And then some stuff that it just wasn't quite making sense now, but then maybe later down the line this kind of ties in and kind of goes that way. Yeah.
See, so for me, I don't know how it works for you, Bob, but for me, sometimes it's just as perplexing for me as it is for the person when I'm reading them. And they're like, no, Jerry. And I tell them, it's okay. You can roll your eyes in the back of the head and go like, it just doesn't make sense. But then I say, please call me. Let me know what happens.
Yeah. I've had this happen to me. One that I can think of in particular that really sticks out for me was one time I was doing a reading on a person. It was at a library. I was doing a lecture at one of the libraries, and I usually include palm readings in with the lectures there because they like me to do it.
Yeah.
And one woman, I says, I'm seeing in your hand, there's 3 of you siblings. There's you and there's 2 others. And she says, no, you're off on
and
this one.
And you can see it in the
says,
hand.
Yeah. She says, no, you're off on this one. She says, I'm only seeing, I only have one other sister. That's all there is one other sister.
Uh-huh.
I says, it's really odd because I says, boy, this one I'm 99.9% certain on this, that there's a third one here. She says, no, nothing I could think of. Well, then later on down the line, fortunately, this was like a friend of my brother or someone that he knew, that kind of thing. And she called him and told him, you know what? She says, he was right. We did have another sister. My mother miscarried. She miscarried. There was another one. I talked to my sister about this, and she says, you were too young to remember it. But she says, Mom, there was another one in between, you, before you came along. There was another one there, and Mom miscarried. So there was the third one. That would have been the third one. So he says, okay, because they definitely saw the 3 there. So, yeah, so sometimes this happens. It doesn't make sense to that person, but, maybe not at that time, but then later on down the line. But it's nice when we, as people that do this, find out about this later because we kind of feel good about it ourselves that, yeah, I'm actually seeing something here that's on the level and okay, yeah.
Yeah, because it can be perplexing. You're going like, well, why did I see that like that?
Now, what happens if I drink the coffee that you poured for me? Do I get bad luck, or does something happen to me? Or
you probably get a lot more energy.
Yeah, from the coffee. Yeah.
No, you know what? It's so funny.
I talk a lot faster.
There you go. Right. So it's not. When I do the coffee, I used to have that belief. It's like, no, they've got to sip the coffee first, and then I'm going to rate it to have the energy transference, right? Like the tarot cards. And but then, of course, I learned you don't have to do it. And so many people said, ew, I don't like coffee. And I'm like, okay, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'll just read it for you.
Yeah, no, this is very different. I don't know if if you're listening and you've had some readings done, like tea leaf readings, like the Gypsy in the Tea Room type of thing, where they read the tea leaves. And also, too, there are people that do the coffee. They read the coffee grounds. Where you drink the coffee, and then they flip the cup upside down like they do with the tea leaves, and they read everything in there and what sticks to the rim and all this kind of stuff like that. This is something entirely different. This is the liquid coffee. She pours the cream in, and you're kind of reading the swirls and the cream is what you're reading.
Yeah, one person said it very succinctly. They said that with many of the other coffee readings, you get just a photograph, a picture. But with mine, it's like a motion picture. Because I'll put the cream in, I'll look for the pictures, for the images, and then if I don't catch an image, I'll pour more cream in, it goes down, and the picture actually keeps moving in the coffee. So it keeps coming up with different information as well.
Do you have any pictures for us now? Gee, let's see here. I don't know if you can do this, if this has to be something you do like for an individual. Like a palm reading would definitely be something I have to do for the person individually because you're reading their hand. But can you do something like this just like in general, like say, for the country, like with the election coming up and 2016, the year coming and what's going on with the nation and some stuff going on in current events for us?
Well, I can see if something will come up here.
Yeah, let's see. Because we always have we all know this. There are some very, very well-known psychics and mediums that make these predictions annually for stuff for the up-and-coming year, and then they compare them like the following year to see if what they said actually came true.
Yeah, I normally do predictions, and I'm normally doing it on a TV show every year.
Oh, okay.
So I've been doing that for years and years. Well, I mean, some of this stuff is going to sound general, and I normally sit down and get this done at the end of the year, so I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot here. I just thought,
that's
you can
okay.
see something,
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm clearly, I had already predicted the terrorist stuff that was going on.
Okay.
And so very sorry to say that. I'm sorry we might have more of that going on. Also, there's going to be a lot of the weather changes going on still, and I think in a more intense way.
Okay.
More intense way.
Yeah, I feel that one too. So, yeah. Well, look at the weather we're having now. Very unusual for 40, 50 degrees in, middle of December, 3 days away from Christmas, and and tomorrow we're supposed to hit like 60 degrees, yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So, okay.
I think another one of Chicago's teams will go up to the top, or to the very close to the top.
Okay, now this is for
and
2016, what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yep. Yeah, and for some reason there's a number, I don't know why I'm seeing the 7 here. 7 or a V. 7 or a V. I don't know what that is. Did our
V would be Roman numeral. Wouldn't that be 5 in Roman numerals? If you're seeing a V,
be, yeah.
That could be it. Maybe
Yeah.
it's 75.
What would that be, though,
I don't know.
according to our teams?
Oh, if this is with something to do with sports?
Yeah.
Oh, I would not know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if 75 could be a number in which somebody wins, because I don't know how how the different
It
sports.
could very well be something 7V also, like some kind of 7 and then a letter V. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll have to watch for that.
Okay, 7V.
Maybe
whatever
maybe
it
in the
is.
year 2075 the Bears will win.
There you go.
in which case, none of us will be
Hey,
here to
John.
know. So.
Hey, John, it's really funny. I just saw a bear, too.
It may take them that long to get a winning team. So
That's
yeah.
very funny. That's
I
very
hope we
funny.
live long enough to see them win another Super Bowl here, but it's not looking too promising right now.
Amen.
Yeah.
And then I think there's going to be something with some new type of hip surgery, because I just saw hips here.
Okay.
So I think there's going to be something new, modern, better technology coming up here.
Oh, that's a nice thing. This is nice positive. Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be nice.
So some nice positive things here. Yeah.
Oh, positively,
Mhm, yeah.
positively. Yeah. What is it? You can't have the good without the bad.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Darn it.
Can't have one
hate for
without the
that to
other.
happen.
Okay.
Yes,
So there's a
that's
few
what I'm
things there.
saying.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I was almost tempted to say,
Do a reading for you?
to look at my hand.
Let me take a look at your right palm. Let me
It is
take a
the
look.
right one.
It's the
Well,
right.
you
Yeah.
gotta be- you gotta be gentle.
Every
You gotta be
reader. Oh
gentle.
yeah. Every reader does them a little differently. Some readers
Yes.
will do right hands for men. They do left hands for women.
Really?
Some will read both, and they'll read like your right hand is telling you your personality traits and everything, and left tells me about your past. I read everything off the right. It's a matter how preference how you want to do it. Some Asian countries they actually read the back of the hand, like where the knuckles are and all that. So everybody does
Wow.
them a little different. Let's take a look at
Never
your
heard
right
of that.
hand. I haven't done one on the ear in a
No, I
while
haven't-
here.
and I
Let's
haven't-
take a look. Move the coffee pot out of here
I
so you don't
don't
burn
have-
yourself.
I don't
Yeah.
have a pen to take notes.
Okay.
But, so
Yeah.
can we record this part, John?
Oh yeah, we're recording the whole thing. It'll be recorded and
And
it'll also be
I
on
don't
the
know if
shows.
this makes a difference, but I had surgery here too.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes that changes things if you have some surgery done. Let me get my glasses out of my
Okay.
pocket here so I can see this.
All right.
Oh, we're going to take a break. Okay, we are going to stop right at the moment and take a little break here, and then we'll come back on, and I'll read Jorianne's palm, and we'll see what's going on in her life. We'll see how accurate I am. Stick with us,
fun.
folks, and we'll be right back on.
You're listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek from the John Nevada Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich. And this is Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich, Illinois on Tuesday, December the 22nd, the year of our Lord, 2015. And now, friends, back to Paranormal Radio and Mr. Bob Trisek. Okay, Bob, you're back on.
Thank you, John. Yeah, okay, we are back here. Just in case you're just kind of tuning in here, you're flipping your stations, looking on the internet or whatever you're doing, and you just happen to be tuning into this show here, this is something you might want to hear from the beginning on, because you might be a little lost what we're doing right now. We've got on Jorianne the Coffee Psychic, and Jorianne is very well known and very famous in this field. She's actually one of the only ones I know that does this, and she does readings with the coffee. She'll like pour some coffee in the cup, she pours the cream in, and she reads the swirls in the cream and everything, and this makes sense to her. So she's been doing some of those for us here on the air, also with some callers. I'm going to give the number out for call-in. Our call-in number is 708-453-5114, but if you're going to be listening to this broadcast over the internet, don't call in because she won't be here. We're taping the show now, so I did give this number out to a lot of people, and I put it up on my Facebook page, and so people would call in. Hopefully for tonight we'd get them on. Then you could hear yourself on the radio also too. But so for nothing, we've had one caller so far, but she's been doing some other things as well, and is making some predictions for the country and for all of us in general for the next year. I'm going to, since I do palm readings, I'm going to read Jorianne's palm, and we'll see how accurate I am. So let me take a look at your hand, Jorianne. Your right one.
Yep. And so I've had surgery
and
on
we do,
it.
Okay, and we do all this. We look at everything here, and right off the bat, what this is telling me here is that you have a very good head on your shoulder, as we all know when we're listening to you talk here. Very good-headed person. You're very good. You think for yourself, and you make up your mind very easily. You make your mind up, and you stick to it. You're not easily persuaded.
So
Once
that's
you-
true.
Yeah, once you say something, you're kind of with that, and that's it. The little fork that you've got over here on your headline, this is telling me that you have some artistic ability and a flair for art and that type of thing, and for color and that kind of stuff. That may be like a little hidden talent. You have other talents and things that you do. This might be something that you have, but you don't really like exercise as much as you should be. You know, that kind of thing. It's just something that you do, a nice thing that you have.
So I love interior decorating,
Okay,
and
yeah.
I love painting,
Okay, so
Yep.
it's kind of going with that.
Yep.
Very good-hearted person, very giving of yourself, very caring for people. Sometimes, though, to the point where you get taken advantage of, what you're giving and what you're caring and that kind of stuff like that. So it's okay to be that way, but in your case, sometimes know when to kind of shut that off.
Right.
Maybe turn it like a tap.
I've learned, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes say no. All right, so you kind of
Yep.
worked yourself through that one.
Yep.
What I'm seeing down at the bottom of your hand, like over by the thumb, and then I'm kind of jumping. I usually work like from the top and go down like this. But as I see things in your hand that are interesting me, I'm kind of commenting on those. And this one here that I'm seeing, like all these little lines that I see going on your mound by your thumb, are telling me that you had some insecurity about yourself, which I find very hard to believe. Like you didn't quite feel confident about yourself. This is obviously something from the past, because now you're a very confident person, and very secure in what you do, and very sure of yourself. But this was something that had to change. Part of this was because you were measuring yourself up against other people. You're measuring yourself against maybe other women, what they were doing, what they had, how they looked, what they were doing, and you says, I don't know why I'm not, this kind of thing, why I'm not fitting in with this.
So I like validating other psychics, and you don't call yourself a psychic, but for me, I'm a full-figured woman, so I did have to go through the issues of, my body image, things like that, and, our society has made skinny women, like that's the ideal, and the reality is none of us are, really skinny. We have our own body types and stuff like that, and you have to love yourself just the way you are.
Yeah, this was something that you were having problems with. I don't even know so much if this is outward, like appearance, that type of thing like that, because you make very nice appearances, what your hand is telling me and what I'm seeing in front of me, that you make very, very nice appearances and first impressions with people.
Thank you.
But this was something that, like, you felt not secure about yourself, but you kind of overcame that, so you pat yourself on the back for that. You did very well with that and kind of got out of that shell and shed that one, so doing very well with that. You make very good first impressions, and you warm up very easily to people too. You do that. You warm up very easily. This I know kind of firsthand with you, because when I had you on the radio before, when I was doing the shows at WARG Radio, we had Jacqueline Stigman on, and Jacqueline was a little uneasy about coming on the radio and that, and she always commented to me, oh, how nice, afterwards, whenever I would contact her on Facebook and that kind of thing, she says how nice you were and how calm she felt around you and that. So you do have that kind of effect with people.
Oh, nice.
You have a
Thank you.
very, very nice bond also too with animals and with children.
Thank
Something
you.
that you have, and that's a real good thing to your thing. Two strings to your bow with that one too. Friendships you make very easily. You make a lot of friendships very easily. Yet you have a very small circle of really, really close friends. Very, very small, tight knit, close knit circle of friends there that care very much about you, and you're very much caring about them. Your family chain is very strong, so there's a very strong bond in family. There might be some sort of a disagreement right now with somebody in the family that you're not seeing eye to eye with. There's something going on there, and this may actually have something to do with like a shared piece of property, something that you're owning. And I'm not seeing this as being like a husband and wife type thing. This might be something that you have with another sibling. I'm not 100% certain about that, but there's some sort of a little disagreement going on with that. But these things happen in families all the time.
So I'll share this with you too. We don't have any shared property.
Okay.
So that doesn't relate.
Okay, that's not
yet,
nothing going
right?
on. Yeah.
So we never know.
Yeah.
And but yes, there was a difference with somebody. There
Okay.
was some emotions, and hopefully that's been worked out.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So there was something going on there. So okay, we're cool with that.
Yeah, we're all human, right?
this up here on your fingers. Now I'm jumping back up. I'm going from the bottom of your hand up to the top again.
Sure.
Which is normally not the way I do it. But like I said, just when I'm seeing things of interest, this is telling me that you happen to be good with numbers and figures. Numbers and figures you're very good with, but not so good with money. Money kind of goes through your hands easily. Money slips through very easily with you. So that's it. This time of year in particular, but that's everybody. That's general enough to be true with everybody this time of year, because it's the Christmas season, so people are out shopping and buying things. Health-wise, you're doing very well with that. You're on top of your health and that. You take good care of yourself that way.
Yes.
You do travel. Travel is in the cards for you, definitely. Your lifeline is telling me that lifeline is very clear and very well defined. So where you're at now, you're at a good point in life here. This is kind of nice. You're really enjoying life like to its fullest now. You're doing well with that. And at the bottom, that's telling me that you're a traveler and a goer. And you've said that. So we know that already, because you said you go to Nebraska and you do things in Arizona
South
and
Carolina,
stuff.
North Carolina.
Yeah, so you're all over the place. So travel is definitely something in the cards for you. And it's something you like doing.
Yeah, I
So
love
that's
it.
good. Yeah. Fate for you, I'm not seeing any changes coming up. I don't see any major changes or anything drastically changing for you. But like I say, where you're at now is a good spot. So I really wouldn't want to change anything for you. You're doing very well with the way you're doing and what you got going on. Moving though, you moved a few times. You changed residences a few different places. It looks like there might be a move coming up for you again. It looks like that might be. And this.
Gosh, you guys, I've got to tell you, is that exciting? Bob is not the only one that's told me that. And yet, I just got through. I moved 2 years ago in September. And just this week, I finally finished unpacking the boxes, putting them up, all of my books. And my spirit guides had told me a while ago, they said, don't put all those boxes up. You're just going to be moving again anyway.
I was going to say, the way it looks to me, it looks like you might be packing them up again, and I can relate to you with packing the boxes because I just moved myself a couple of months ago.
So, Bob, should I keep the boxes that I just threw in my garage or what?
Keep the boxes. Don't get rid of them. You might be needing them again. But this looks to me like a very positive. Actually, one of the places that you lived previously, you were very happy, and I don't know why you left there. That was like a good spot for you.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I was in Illinois. And I said to my neighbors, I said, now, you know what, you guys, for all you guys that pay taxes like I did, I said, how much did your taxes go up? And they looked at me and said, mine didn't. And I went to my neighbor across the street. I said, how much did your taxes go up? He goes, mine didn't. I was like, what? So the next year I said, if they do that again to me, I'm going to move. And so the next year I said, how much did your taxes go up? And she said, they didn't. My other neighbor said they didn't. I said, okay, guys, got to go.
Bye. See ya.
Yeah, mine went up a lot. I was going like, holy mackerel. I had a really nice property, though, and I was next to a nature wetland.
You're talking about when you were here in Illinois. Were you
yeah.
in Cook County here?
I was in Cook County.
Oh, yeah, well, that explains it right there. I can tell you that. I had that trouble, too.
Holy moly.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful house, but that's why I left. That's why I left.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame you. That was a good...
Right out to Indiana.
I have to admit, part of my reason for moving to was the property taxes.
Yeah,
the taxes were absolutely
crazy,
ridiculous.
Bob. Yeah.
When you're getting to the point where you're spending $500 or $600 a month on taxes that you got to put aside, I can rent an apartment and not
even
have
if
the
I
headaches with
paid,
the house. Yeah.
even if I paid my house off, I would have been paying almost $1,000 a month for taxes. I'm going like,
crazy.
I said, that's
and
it.
that's now, and it's only going to go up.
I contributed enough.
Yeah, and you can always do the appeals and all that stuff, but sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. What I did in order to be able to sell the house, which I think may have helped, what I actually did was I got an attorney and we fought and I got the assessments lowered. And my brother said, what are you doing that for? He said, if we're going to sell the house, what are you doing that? I says, Ray, if we're going to sell this house and someone's going to see the assessment on this, they're going to walk away. I said, if we get this lowered, maybe we'll have a better chance doing it. So I did. I got him down quite a bit, and I think that may have actually added to this. So, yeah, I can understand you. We're getting away from the palm reading here, though, talking about wonderful Cook County here. But, yeah, that was part of my reason, too. Part of it was the taxes and the expenses of running the house, and the other was the house was just too much to do, for one person by yourself. So I said, this is the easy way to go. But, yeah, I can relate to you with the packing boxes and that. Because I feel like I'm still unpacking, too, and I've been here for a couple of months now. So, yeah. Okay, but it looks like this might be something coming up for you there. So let's see what else we got to tell you here, Jorianne. Oh, good news is coming for your ears from a long distance. So there's some good news coming to you from far away. I don't know what that's about.
Sweet.
And there is a child coming into the picture for you, too. There's not necessarily your own, but there is a child.
Yeah, the bakery's been closed down for quite a while, Bob. I don't bake cakes in this bakery anymore.
No, there is. Someone that you know is going to be, if they haven't already told you, real soon you're going to be hearing about a child. And this is like a close one for you.
So a baby will be coming in?
There's going to be a child coming in.
I predicted the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
And let's see, Jorianne, with that, I think I will leave you, and I hope that made as much sense to you as yours made to me. So
that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I love it. You know, I enjoy seeing other psychics. I like sitting down with people and seeing how their artistry works and how they pick things up and stuff like that. So I think that's fun because we all have different spiritual gifts and different ways in which we can access information. I teach psychic development classes also. And
now, is this something, now you say you teach it, so obvious it is, but how would you actually teach psychic development? I mean, some people, did you ever run into someone, I should maybe ask you this question, that you just they can't be taught. They just don't have the ability for this. They don't. That's it. They just, no psychic ability at all.
Well, it's not. Well, first off, if people are coming, they're curious about their psychic abilities. They want to know more about it. So I don't know that I've met people that can't be taught. I think if you're really interested in something, you're going to learn it.
Okay.
Number one.
Yeah, but see, this would just be like the same people that maybe take an art class, like a painting class or something like that.
Like they're no good at it?
And they just don't have the talent for it. Right.
Yeah,
they love doing it, but they just,
But don't you remember the one story? I don't know if you heard this story. There was a gentleman. He was working his way through college. Liar, liar, pants on fire. This guy said he was a psychic, so he was reading people left and right, taking their money, and he was a fraud. Until one day, he got it right. And then he got it right again. He was so stunned, Bob.
So he was developing his skills.
He was developing his skills.
Practice makes perfect, I guess.
That's it. So that cracks me up. So to me, when people say, Joanne, I want to know, my psychic, because many times I'll read people and I'm going like, oh my God, have you had this experience? Have you had that experience? So people will come to me for classes because they want to find out, are they clairvoyant? Are they clairaudient? Are they clairsentient? How do they receive their information? What gifts do they have, or how can they develop their gifts?
The little cross you've got at the top of your palm that's between your life, or you're between your head and your heart line, that's telling me that you have a lot of psychic ability. But I didn't even bother mentioning that because, well, it's something we obviously already know. So, yeah, we don't need to say that. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just from a little hit on the head.
Yeah. So now you teach a class, and so now where do you teach your classes?
I teach the classes at my home every last Sunday of the month.
Okay.
And it's from 1:30 to about 3:30 or 4. And we talk about all different topics, and people practice reading each other, and it's really a great class.
Now, by them reading each other, do they just sit there and I'm picking this up from you and they just start talking? Is this how they do it, or how?
Well, we go through, I teach them what gifts that they do have, because in the discussion, they'll tell me what's going on for them, and it's like, oh my God, that's clairvoyance. I mean, you're seeing these dead people in your house all the time, and they're like, well, it's like, do you see things out of the corner of your eye or don't you? They're like, yes, all the time. But they didn't know that was somebody that was dead.
Nope, I think something's ringing. I think your phone is ringing.
Yeah, I think that maybe it was my friend saying she wants to come in.
Well, let her come on. Let her come on in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, get her in. We got some time left here. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see if that was her.
You can go ahead and talk with her, and I'm going to go and I'll take a couple of minutes here. Every year for Christmas, I do the story of the Christmas tree ship, so I'll just recite that one, and we'll get back to Jorianne in just a moment here. Every year I like to do this. It's sort of my little tradition. Like for Halloween, we like to talk about Resurrection Mary. We like to do that kind of stuff like that. And for Christmas, I like to give the story of the Christmas tree ship because it also is a haunt. It's a Chicago story. It's a local story, and I think it's worth mentioning. I like it. It's a beautiful story. There actually are some plays written about it. If you go down to the Mercury Theater downtown right now, every year they run. It's called the Christmas Tree Schooner, and they give you the story on this. Also, too, there are some movies. I think they made a couple of films about it, loosely based on the story of it. But anyway, we go back to Chicago history here, back to the year of 1912, and we focus on a man named Hermann Schunemann, a German, well, not really German-born. He was born here. He's of German descent, but he's an American, and his brother August. And what they did is they ran a ship on Lake Michigan from Clark Street, where the Schunemanns lived. They would run across to Michigan, to Manatee, Michigan, and they would cut Christmas trees, load the ship up with trees, and then sail it back across the lake and dock at the Clark Street Bridge and sell Christmas trees directly to the citizens of Chicago right off the boat. Something that they did. And they did this for many, many years. Schunemanns weren't the only ones doing this, but we like to focus on their story because for different reasons. Captain Schunemann was a very, very well-liked man, a very beloved man. And like I said, this tradition went on for many, many years. And we focus now on the year of 1912. This year kind of was a little stormy and tempestuous on Lake Michigan than normal, with a lot of early autumn storms. And what they would do is they would send the ship out. Now we're talking, when I say the ship, we're talking about an old wooden three-masted or four-masted, I believe it was, a sailing ship, and it was called the Rose Simmons. The Rose Simmons was an older ship. By 1912, sailing ships were already old because by 1912 we already had steam and some gasoline-powered boats and things. So old sailing vessels like this were already becoming archaic. And nonetheless, the Rose Simmons still ran, and it changed hands like 7 different times before Schunemann bought it. And he would sail it across, and this year he decided to do it. A lot of the other ships that were doing Christmas trees decided not to because the weather just was not cooperating that year. They didn't want to take the risk, but he decided to take the risk. So November 23rd, they went, actually before November 23rd, that's when the ship got lost. What they did is they sailed across with the crew. I think there were like 7 or 8 of them, manned the ship, and then they would cut trees, stay there for about a week or so, load the ship up with trees, and then sail it back across and sell the ships, right, like I said, right off the ship, right to the Clark Street, to the crowd on the Clark Street Dock there. So that year, he decided to do it. He needed to take a bigger load than normal because he says, no one else is doing this, and I'm the only one doing it, and I make it across okay. I can get a better price for the trees, and I can clear off some debts and some things and do that. So he decided to take the chance and do it, and his fate would have it. They had the ship loaded with trees and everything and were sailing across, and on November 23rd, they struck a very, very bad storm out on the lake. An ice storm, snowstorm, this kind of thing. And what happened was it weighted the ship down. pulled them down, broke the mast on one of the sails. They actually lost their lifeboat. They were seen by a lighthouse. Lighthouse saw that they were in distress. They were flying their flag at half mast, so they knew it was a distress signal, and they actually did send a gasoline-powered boat out to try to help them. But that boat itself had to turn back because the storm was so severe they had to turn back with that. And they did find a note in a bottle. All hope is lost our lifeboat, God help us all, this kind of thing. This did wash up later on the shores of Lake Michigan. So, to make a long story short, the Rose Simmon was lost. It sunk in the storm. Down it went with the cargo of trees as well as the crew. No one survived. None of the bodies were ever recovered. They never found any of them. So that was the end of that. From time to time over the years, trees would bob up to the surface. Christmas trees would bob up and wash ashore, like on the shores of Wisconsin, on the shores of Michigan. And this started developing stories of the supernatural. They say there's something haunted. Christmas trees are turning up at odd times of the year. Well, actually, it wasn't something supernatural. These were trees that were lashed to the ship, and eventually the lashings and riggings would rot away, and the ships would bob up to the surface and then washed ashore. However, in 1924, a fishing trawler on Lake Michigan, did find Captain Shinneman's wallet in an oilskin bag. They found his wallet. Yeah, he had some advertising in it and some positive identification that it was his wallet indeed. And the ship that found it was the Reindeer. So it's kind of neat. The Christmas tree ship was found by the Reindeer, yeah. So that was kind of neat. So this also started fostering some belief in the supernatural and this kind of thing. Captain Shinneman did have a wife, Barbara, and he had two little girls, Pearl and Hazel. And then later on, as the girls came older, they continued the Christmas tree tradition. By the time the 1920s rolled around, they were no longer doing the shipping anymore with the trees by boat. They were, trucking now was becoming cheaper and by rail, but they would still dock a ship on the shore, unload the trucks, put them on the ship, and people would come onto the ship to buy the trees because this was just such a tradition that people did for so long, they wanted to do it. But then eventually that died out. Barbara Schuneman, Captain Schuneman's wife, did have a little store, like a Christmas store, this kind of thing. So she kind of kept the Christmas tradition going on. And Herman Schuneman himself was a very beloved man. He was known to be very generous and give his trees to orphanages and to churches, people that couldn't afford them. He would often cut the prices down because he wanted everybody to be able to afford a tree. So he was a very beloved man, and they called him Captain Christmas. His grave is over at the Acacia Cemetery, which is not too far from where we do this broadcast up here on Irving Park Road. And it's easy one to find. You find his stone. It's a flat stone, nothing very elaborate. It does have a little Christmas tree on it. And named Barbara Schuneman. I think she died in the 1930s, and Herman Schuneman, 1912. But his body is not there because his body was never recovered from sea. However, when you do go to that grave, sometimes when the conditions in the atmosphere are just right, you can very, very smell the very, very strong scent of pines in the air by that gravestone. Also, too, the Christmas tree ship itself. If you happen to be this year coming up on Christmas Eve, if you happen to be up anywhere near the vicinity of Lake Michigan, sometimes there again, when conditions in the atmosphere and things are just right and the weather's just right, if you look out over the lake, a lot of people have been known to see an old wooden sailing vessel coming down the lake, and they attribute that to the, you get a glimpse of it, and they attribute that to the Christmas tree ship trying to make its one last final voyage, before the storm hit, trying to come into dock at the Clark Street Bridge. So that is the story of the Christmas tree ship. A little Chicago story, a little piece of history. They still do have the Christmas tree ships now. They come in, of course, by Coast Guard. They bring them in and that. So it's still something that kind of still goes on there, but it's no longer done the old way, the way it was. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Now, when you say that when the weather conditions are just right, isn't it where it's really misty, or what's the temperature? And
it depends. Whatever's right for that thing. Sometimes it could be a stormy condition. Sometimes it could be something stormy.
More electricity in the air, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's stormy. Sometimes it's clear. Sometimes if you get a foggy, a misty day, a cool day, maybe some strange weather pattern like what we've been having now, where the temperature is unusually warm.
Yeah.
These things kind of manifest, and that's when it is. Sometimes it's the right person and it's the wrong conditions. Sometimes when you get the right chemistry and you get everything clicks when it's the right person with the abilities to to see something like this, and it wants to manifest itself for that person, and when the conditions are right, boom, boy, everything's right, and then you'll see it, you get a good image of it. So
beautiful.
So it's been known to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a neat story. I like that story of the Christmas tree ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Jory Ann here. We've got a few minutes left here. Did you have someone that was going to come down or call or anything? Or
no, she said she was gonna come in. She said okay, and hopefully she'll be popping in.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We've got a few minutes here left to go, so yeah.
Yeah.
Just to let you know again too. our station. Tomorrow we will be broadcast on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS. Within a day or so, you can get this broadcast up on YouTube, Paranormal Radio, Bob Trazik. Push my last name in, TRZECIAK, and you put the date in, which for today's date will be the 21st. Or, I don't know, will they have it as the 22nd, John? We're broadcasting now. We're taping it on the 21st. Well, punch in either 1221 or 1222, and the broadcast will come up with Jorianne on it. And it should say right on there, Jorianne, the coffee psychic, so you'll know who the guest was, so you can listen to Jorianne. And then you can also go to the Windy City Network, www.windycityhometown, all one word, windycityhometown.com, and listen on the Windy City Network, as well as some of the other great shows they got at the Windy City Network. Meet the Chicago Historians, which they just did a show this morning. They taped the show. I was listening to a little bit of that when I came into the studio here. Before we started doing Paranormal Radio. They do the Donna Sports, Chicago Junction, all about Chicago railroading and history. So they've got a lot of different variety of programming on here, as well as the music, too, and stuff like that. You still do the polka music?
No.
You stop doing the polkas? Not enough people around?
I never did polka music.
Oh, I thought you did. Oh, big bands you do. You do big bands. Yeah. I thought you had polka music, too. Somebody where I moved over by the apartments there on Sunday mornings, someone likes to listen to the polkas. He says, gosh, this brings back memories. Because my dad always did that. Every Sunday morning he would listen to Little Wally or Eddie Carosa or whatever it was he listened to on the radio, yeah. So
and how can you beat a polka?
You can't. Oh, here comes somebody. Hi there. A couple of people are just entering the studio here. Who do we have here?
Well, this is my friend Kimberly.
Hi, Kim.
Kimberly Garner.
You want to put a headset on and say some stuff on the radio here? Sure. Go right ahead. Grab a headset there.
And then also, this is my granddaughter, Joanna.
Granddaughter Joanna.
Yeah.
If this is your granddaughter, what did you do? Start having children when you were like 15, Jorianne, or what? Man, you're a young grandma. You're a young grandma here. Yeah.
She's one of my younger grandchildren.
You want to put a headset on
also.
and say something? No, you don't want to talk on the radio. You're a little shy of it, huh? Do they have now? What? You're in high school, obviously at 16. What high school do you go to?
Shepherd.
Okay, she goes to. You can't hear her because she doesn't want to talk on the radio. She goes to Shepherd. Does Shepherd have a radio station over there? Not that you know of? Okay, you might be like me. See, when I went to high school, I didn't know what was going on in high school. Yeah, they had the radio station when I went to high school. They didn't have it. It came a year after I left the school. They put the radio station in, so it was kind of weird. Yeah.
So she doesn't like me saying it, and I'll say it. She's going to blush. But she's been seeing the dead since she's been 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
So she's had a lot of experiences, even to the point where she was seeing stuff this week, and she was telling me about it. So she's going to yell at me now later on.
Holidays and the Christmas season seems to be a very good time for these things to kind of manifest. I think because so many people have a connection with the past and with lost relatives and this kind of stuff like that. It seems to be a very good season for psychic phenomena. We always think of Halloween. Obviously, everybody thinks of Halloween for this, but Christmas and the holiday season seems to be really good for this too. Just personal experience that I found. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
What do you got to say there? This is, who did we say this was again?
Kimberly.
Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
You want to do a reading for Kim?
Oh, I've done readings for Kim in the past.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, but Kim is pretty intuitive herself too.
Okay. All right.
I'm also a Reiki master healer teacher, and so is my daughter. And Kim's also learned Reiki. And
what else do you do? Do you make false teeth in your spare time too, or something? Man, you're just all over the place.
I'm actually also a hypnotherapist and a life coach.
Oh, hypnotherapist, life coach. Geez, what else?
Yeah. But my main work is the psychic work, and I do exorcisms also, stuff like that.
Exorcisms.
So that's.
This is something, I've been wanting almost since I've done this show, and actually when I was doing Paranormal Radio, even when I was doing it on the other station, I always wanted to get like a Roman Catholic priest to come on and talk about exorcism.
I've always wanted
to talk.
to talk.
To get them, yeah.
But if you got somebody else on the show that was a priest that did that work, I would love to be on here with them too.
When I get someone, we'll definitely have you back on that day.
Please.
Hopefully everything can click and you can come on the same time we get, because I'd love to get someone on. And then I did have a priest that was willing to come on and talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I says, you don't have to say anything controversial, anything that's going to get you, cause trouble for you, but I would like to get you on, just to talk about it, because a lot of people aren't aware the church still does exorcisms.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, I would say the work that I do with my other daughter and the work that the Catholic Church does is the same. We're going for the same end result. But, oh, my God, the stuff when people get healed and stuff like that. I mean, people that are on the way with drug addiction, alcohol, suicidal, once we do a clearing on them, an exorcism, bam, they're back on track.
So now when you say an exorcism,
exorcism
is not necessarily to get rid of like a demon spirit.
Yeah.
It's also...
It's any dead relative or any dead spirit that's on them. Yeah, so it's anyone that's dead. So I think the Catholic Church has it, and I could be wrong about this, but that it's got to be a demon.
Right.
And not everybody, when they cross over, beam me up, Scotty, they don't always go into the light. They kind of hang around, they drift around, or they see a host, and they cling on to the host. And it's like, oh, God. And then a woman who's going to have a clearing in January said, she goes, I just don't feel like myself. She goes, it feels like I'm empty. She goes, it feels like I'm not here anymore. And her house, since she moved into her house 2 years ago, and that's the girl that I said I had a photograph, and I saw a fire, and I saw this mean spirit coming out of the fire. I took the picture, and, I should see if it's on my phone. And I said, did that house have a fire? Did anyone die in that fire? She says, as a matter of fact, I just learned that somebody died in this house in a fire. And,
Yeah, a lot
and
of
I
times
said,
people move into an older home. They're not aware of the home's history and this kind of stuff. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So she has been depressed. She put 80 pounds on since she moved into that house. It's crazy the stuff that's gone on for this woman. So so I said, you know what, you don't feel like yourself because I'm kind of thinking you're not yourself. You know, it's not just you in there anymore.
In a case like this, would you suggest maybe just a change of residence and say, this isn't the place for you, there's a lot of bad vibes here. Let's just leave this house and go. You know, find somewhere else to live.
Positively,
Yeah,
yes.
I would suggest that too. That would be my thing, yeah.
I had a friend, Bob, that moved into this house, and he and his girlfriend moved in. Suddenly his personality changed. They started fighting. It was terrible.
See?
Then he said, you got to get over here. He goes, I feel like I'm going to kill myself.
Oh,
Please get
my.
over here and check
Yeah.
my house. I walked into the house, and I started doing the walkthrough like I do.
And you can just tell.
I said, there have been 3 other people that have killed themselves in this house. And he says, you know what? He goes, my landlord told me that there were 2 other people that killed themselves.
So there's one he didn't even know of. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
So people have to know if there's negative energy there, if you can't clear that house and get it back to normal and release those spirits so they can move on too, then you better hightail it out of there.
Now, I've had many people as guests on Paranormal Radio here on the show that have, do this. They do the cleansings, they do this and everything.
Right,
And they
yes.
all claim they've had good results and they've gotten rid of it. But sometimes you kind of got to question, that the thing is still there. It may go for a little while, but then it comes back, They fool you.
Yeah, it can. It can.
Yeah,
Did you hear about that one house in Gary, Indiana? Where they were saying it was crazy haunted. I don't remember. I know that there was either
Is this
a
fairly
social
recently,
worker, probably within a year or two. A social worker
Yeah, this
either
one I
had
don't recall. Yeah, I wish I
been
did.
to the
huh?
hospital
Yeah.
with the person. It was either a social worker or a police officer. The grandmother was there. The kids were there. And the child literally, I guess he was in an altered state because he was possessed by the spirit, literally walked up the wall onto the ceiling and then fell either behind the social worker or police, whoever it was, and kind of snapped out of it and said, well, where am I? What just happened? And if this wasn't like a police report or a serious report, people would be questioning what's going on here. But
Yeah, this always gives credibility to these things when you
Oh, my goodness.
when you have police, reports on this stuff or something documented and
Totally.
witnesses.
Witnesses.
Definitely witnesses, credible people, witnesses that see this, experience it, this kind of stuff. So this was actually like a Linda Blair thing right out of the movie, huh?
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
What have you got to say about all this stuff?
It's interesting.
That's it? You came all the way down here and put the headphones on, everything to say it's interesting. That's it. Now, do you do this type of thing too? Do you do the cleansings and all this too, or no? This isn't your thing.
No.
So when you run into a house and something like this, you run back out of the house, huh?
Real fast.
Yes, in some cases this happens, and sometimes too people, and I've mentioned this many, many times, and I like to say this all the time on the radio is, don't fool around with Ouija boards. I don't know how you feel about it, but I really, really strongly recommend that people don't fool around with those because a lot of this stuff can happen to you just by playing with those things, and they can be very dangerous.
And I tell people that all the time. I teach
So
them
don't
that
fool
all the
around
time.
with radio. With
the radio.
Don't fool around, fool around with
Don't
the
do
radio
it.
unless you're getting strange sounds that come in. Fool around with the radio. Don't fool around with the Ouija boards. And if you do have something there, try to consult one of these experts or someone that knows a little bit what they're doing. They can maybe help you out with this. Get a hold of Jorianne. Get a hold of some of these other people. There are many, many people that do these cleansings and do these things, and talk to your local clergyman too, your priest.
Totally.
The Catholic Church now, if you want to claim like an actual exorcism for them to do it, yes, they still do, but boy, oh boy, do you go to through the third degree to get an exorcism done. They don't just say, well, the kid is rolling his eyeballs around his head, let's do an exorcism.
Right. They
don't just do it that. It's a lot. It's like a long process. It may take years before they actually do it, but they will do them. Yeah.
So here's the picture of the coffee. I just found it up on my phone. Pulled it up.
This is the
Do you
coffee.
see where that I read for that lady? It looks like there's a fire here.
Okay.
Do you see the spirit with the eyes sticking out here?
Okay, I kind of see an eye like with an eyelash. I'm kind of getting the shape of that. Yeah, okay.
There, the
And
fire.
I can see where this looks like fire. Okay,
Yeah,
so I
that
can
looks
see where
like
you get
flames.
that. Yeah.
And there was another picture on the side here. It kind of looked like a Viking, but I don't know if I can fully make it out right now. Right here. on the side here. So I'd have to...
Well, I'm kind of, now maybe just the angle that I'm looking at this, just, if you kind of wonder what we're doing here, Joanne has this pulled up on her phone. There's a picture, and of course it's a circular picture because it's a cup of coffee, and she's showing me the images that are in the coffee that she sees when she does one of her readings. This is how she sees it. And maybe just the angle that I'm looking at, I kind of see a face up here in this thing.
Yes, there's
here. But
yes.
I can see where you would get fire out of this and flames out of this and maybe an eye out of this. I could see where that would come to you, yeah. Interesting stuff, Jorianne.
Isn't that interesting?
It is, very much so, yeah. Well, we're going to get you to come back on when we get someone on here to talk about exorcisms. We're going to get you to come back on here, and we're going to have you do a seance.
Beautiful.
You want to come for the seance?
Oh, that'd be fun.
I got her to say something else.
There you go.
Didn't I? You want to come? You want to come when we do a seance? John, can we do a seance here? Do we have your permission to go ahead and do a seance? Okay, because you may not go for that kind of thing, because this is, after all, a private home. So, I've had some folks, I don't know how you feel about this, but I've had some folks come on the show, and they say they feel something down here. I've been doing the shows down here for a few years now. Nothing. I've never felt anything. But some people say, yeah, definitely, I feel something. And they say they feel it over here, back here, like by the stairway, like where we enter to come in. Nothing for me. I have to honestly say nothing.
I don't feel that much here, but as soon as you said that, I felt a child, and it felt like a little girl.
I put the idea in her head, and then she feels it. See?
No, play nice. No, as soon as you said it, it feels pretty good.
Okay.
But when you said it, I can feel a little child.
Oh, so that's the man who lives here.
Feel...
John, any history of any children living here that you know of? Nothing. No, not at all. Was there ever another home here before this one that you know of? Another home built here before this one? No? Yeah.
But that's based on the premise that you think just because the spirit's here that they had to live here. That's not true.
No, that's not. They could be carried in. Also, too, a lot of times it's not necessarily in the home, but it could be something that happened on the ground before the home was here.
That's right.
So a lot of times
Indian reservations, things like that.
Yeah. And I get this one a lot too. People always tell me, and I'm sure you, doing what you do, you probably get this a lot more than I do. People say, we've lived in this home for so many years and we never had anything. Now all of a sudden we're getting all these crazy things that are happening. First thing I ask them is, are you doing any remodeling or any adding on? Yeah, we just did. Boom. That starts it. So, yeah.
Totally.
Well, we are going to have to stop. It's about 5 after. Can we go on for a little longer, John, if we want? Oh, we can keep going if we want. Yeah, we can run. We do an hour here, but since this got good, I want to kind of continue it. I like to kind of.
Dang it!
Not that everything that happened before wasn't good, but all of a sudden it really picked up. And this is what people listen to Paranormal Radio for. They listen to these kind of things. Yeah.
There you go.
So now you do readings and.
Reiki healings.
Reiki healings.
She's in training.
Okay. So now who's training you? Jorianne. Okay.
No. Jorianne's daughter, Terry.
Yes.
Oh, Jorianne's daughter. Terry does the Reiki.
Yeah, she's an expert.
Oh, so the whole family's into this.
Yeah.
Now, what do? You besides see spirits?
I get my fair share of readings.
Oh, so you give readings too?
Yeah.
Talking to Mike? She just wanted. She doesn't come on the radio. She just wanted.
You can sit down there, Joanna. Go ahead, sit down. It's okay. You just put the headphones on. It's easier for people to hear you in that microphone.
You can just hear us better.
Oh, there she goes. Okay, so now if you got something to say, we'll be able to hear you. You'll be in the conversation. Yeah. We won't have to give it third party. John's telling me, hey, radio on. Put that. She don't want to do it. I don't want to force anybody if they don't want to. Go ahead, say something. Let's hear what you sound like on there. Just say hello.
Hello.
There you go. Okay, now you're on the radio. So when you listen to this broadcast, you'll be on there. Hello.
Yeah. So Joanna has again. I say it because there are some things that just like me, some things it'll normally flow through you. That's what I want other people to know. If you suddenly get an impression or you get a feeling, you wanna write it down, jot it down as soon as you can, because many times it's just flowing through you. And you don't always remember it until it happens. And then it feels like deja vu.
Yes.
It's like, I knew that was going to happen. Or I saw that, or I felt it. And Joanna has said some things, and then she goes, I don't remember saying that later. But I've been there to see it. And I'm going, at 2 years old, I was on the phone with her mother, and she just casually says, Mommy, there's a man in the hallway. And my daughter says, no, they're not. And at 2 years old, she goes, I said I saw a ghost. And I'm going like, holy crap. And I heard her in the background saying that.
Yeah, for a 2-year-old to say this, yeah.
For 2 years old. And
sometimes,
I'm going
though,
like,
do you find sometimes, though, that children are very much really in tune with the paranormal and with this kind of stuff? Yeah, very much so. Maybe because of the innocence of childhood or whatever, they're just very much in tune with it. Yeah.
They haven't been tainted with life's experiences.
And animals, too. Animals pick up on this really quickly, too.
So they don't block anything by feeling judged or anything else. They just say it. They see it. They're clear. Yes. Mm-hmm. Little Joanna, one day we were in a store, and she came up to me and she put a card in my hand, and I looked at it and I said, "Wow, that's strange." And now at 2.5 years old, you know darn well she couldn't read. It took me a long time to think about that. She couldn't read at 2.5. And I walked back. It was a picture of Stonehenge. I went back to the card corral, the card rack, and I looked. There were no other spiritual pictures on there. Inside the card it said, "My soul knew you the day you were born."
Wow. Now, where'd you come up with this card? Was it like a deck of one of those like learning cards?
She was She was 2.5 years old. It was a greeting card.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't remember.
okay. It was
Two
a
and a
greeting
half.
card.
So she doesn't
Oh.
remember that. And then one day, this
At
is
2.5, you probably really wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't. At 2.5, you're very, unless it's really some really traumatic thing, you may not remember. Like people that were 2 years old and on the Titanic and claim they remember it. Well, you're really not remembering it. You're remembering what people told you happened.
Right.
Well, not necessarily true now. That's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I suppose.
No,
so,
no. Now, my friend, she has a little boy. His name is Matthew, and he always wanted. I see right in the background. You got fire truck, fire hat, stuff like that. Since he could, he would take popsicle sticks. He would take anything he could and start building them up like 2 towers next to each other, completely. He was so little, he didn't know about the Twin Towers being bombed. But this was the Twin Towers happened, and then he was born, and he'd always be building them. And then one day he says to her that he had gone down in the Twin Towers. And so she asked him, and he said he was a fireman. Well, we had called up, and there had been, and he said his name was Matthew then. I think there were like 15 Matthews of the firefighters that died in the Twin Towers.
Ah, okay.
He was too little to know what he was doing. All he would keep doing was building 2 things next to each other. So they don't always know stuff, and it's not from what they've been told. So you just made the comment it's because somebody told them, but I don't agree.
What I was kind of referring to was not necessarily a psychic experience, but someone actually having a real life experience, like someone maybe experiencing a fire in their home or something. They were 2 years old. Well, at 2 years old, what is your recollection of that? You really probably don't have that much of a recollection of it, but you're remembering it through what people told you happened. Oh yeah, we had the fire. It started here, and we ran out the front, and all this happened. So you're remembering it that way.
If they were told.
Yourself,
If they were told.
Yeah.
Now
if they're not told and they experience this, well then,
Bob, I've seen people
telling
telling them
different.
that I like the grandparents or the mom is saying that like they don't have certain pictures up, but this child is dreaming of this person. They keep coming to them. Then they go through a photo album and says, that's Dada, that's Grandpa, and that's a picture that's not up, and yet that's their dead grandfather or dead father.
I one time had, and this is a few years ago, one time I had an experience doing a palm reading for someone, and there was actually a mother-daughter, and the daughter wanted the reading done, but the mother did not. The mother was kind of reluctant on it, and she didn't want it. Well, then after she heard the way it was going with the daughter, she came down and said, yeah, I'd like this done too. So I was doing it, and I says, who is Aloysius?
Cool.
I says, who's, and this has never happened to me before. Now, never doing a palm reading. I says, who's Aloysius? Who is this? And she says, I don't really know. And I said, it's somebody that you know. I says, he's like here, and I'm getting this thing, he's telling me to tell you thanks. Whatever you're doing, Aloysius is saying thank you, It wasn't making any sense to the daughter. Well, then, when the mother came and I did the reading for her, I says, did you have someone that died in a fire? That was maybe a fireman or something that died in a fire? Oh my gosh, this is making sense now. When we go to visit my husband's grave, the daughter's father, there's a fireman buried there. His name is Aloysius. He died in a fire, and we always put a flag on his grave or a flower by him or something like that, and then go do our visit. I says, yeah, because he was just telling me to tell you thanks. Now, where would Aloysius come from?
Where would that come from, Bob?
Yeah.
Cool.
So when I do cemetery walks when I'm out in Nebraska, we've started using the what is that? The name of that program that's on your phone? Do you remember what the name of that is? Oh, it's Ghost Radar.
Okay.
We have actually walked through the cemetery, and suddenly, like the name Bob will come up, or cancer will come up, and as we're walking past the headstones, it'll be right there. It'll be Bob Smith or whatever, and it's like, wow. So sometimes the radar detectors also, I used to question, are those things real, aren't they? But I think they really have some validity.
So many of the paranormal investigators that I've had on this show and talked to, personally and in my travels and stuff, they say, no, we don't do any work in cemeteries. Nothing happens in cemeteries. And I says, gee, that's very unusual.
Not true.
That's what I say. I says, no. I says, I have things happen to me all the time in cemeteries. I says, that's like, if it's going to. They says, well, why would they want to, have anything happen in the summer days, probably because they're there, you know,
Yes.
or their body is there. If not their soul is, their body is, you know.
Right.
So that's my feeling on it. So, but then later on, they will tell you kind of off the cuff, oh yeah, we are doing some investigative work there, and this is going on and that's going on. I'm like, see, why don't you say this on the air, you know?
You could have. You could have.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I'm going to make another comment about Joanna. I know she's blushing. So when she was really little, there were so many things in her development that I was watching. I had to write a letter, and I was dragging my feet about it. And so when I'd babysit my grandkids, I'd say to Joanna, I said, you want to watch TV this morning? She goes, yeah, Grandma, let's do it. It was so heavy on my mind that I had to write this letter because it was like a legal thing, had to get it out of the way. After the movie, I get up, I go to the kitchen. She walks over. I had a glass table. She walks over, picks up this invisible pen, and in a very, how can I say it, monotone way says, write the letter. Write the letter now. And then puts down the pen and walks away.
Wow.
And I'm going like, what? and then she walks back to me real quickly, and in her normal voice says, Grandma, you want to go to the park? And I said, Joanna, didn't your spirits just say I had to write that letter now? Seriously.
Did you write the letter?
Like, I know it was me that had to write the letter.
Did you write the letter?
I did immediately.
Okay, yeah.
When the
Where did you
spirit
send it?
Wherever I had to.
Yeah.
When the spirit world talks to you, especially through a little grandchild like that,
I would
open
listen.
channel. Open
Yeah,
channel.
yeah.
I was going like, holy mackerel. That was impressive.
How old was she?
I think
You gotta
Joanna
take a
was
break?
about...
Oh, we have to stop for just a moment here and take a break
3.
because we ran a little longer here.
You are tuned to Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM, Norwich, Illinois.
Back on? Oh, okay, we're back on again. That was see, that's how we do our breaks here. Our breaks are just a
Yeah.
second, but when you're listening on the air, the break is a little longer. But ours are just like a second there, almost like a station identification type thing. Yeah, and then we're back on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think one of the things that, working with Joanna, watching her grow up, my other granddaughter also sees things. My grandson, almost all my grandkids are pretty psychic.
I was going to say, now, this is mostly the grandchildren, but not your own kids.
Oh, no, my own.
Them too?
No,
So it runs in the family. Everybody's got something. Yeah.
My daughter, Chris, says, she goes, Mom, this one spirit came up to her, and what did he say? He went in her face and said, howdy! And she said...
Sounds like Minnie Pearl.
Yes. and she says the face was this big. And she says, you better get away from me. And because of that, she says, I don't want to do that work anymore. And I says, Chrissy, come on. I said, if you learn how to talk with the spirits, and, they come for a message and stuff. It's not all bad spirits. But I think it's in the finding out, why are they here? Why are they contacting us? And again, I think it's when you're a bright light, they come to you because they know they can see you and you can see them. And so they want to get messages across. And I think, teaching the young people this and trying to let them be, teaching them that there's nothing wrong with them, they're okay, they're not going crazy, that this is normal, and helping them feel at peace and balance with it, and teaching them how to deal with their gifts. That's what's important to me.
So now you're very much in tune with this and everything, so when they come in and tell you that, oh yeah, we're seeing this, or this is telling me to write this or something like that, you say, okay, we've got something here. But many parents don't. Many parents just say, oh, this is the child's imagination. All kids have an imaginary friend. All kids see somebody, no. But a lot of times they say, no, you should be paying a little more attention to this. There's something a little more here that maybe you're not picking up on, but the child is. So
yes,
yeah,
totally.
So something to it. Yeah. Well, we are going to stop. I think it's about time, so we don't overstay our welcome, and we will definitely have another show with you, Jorianne. Anytime,
I love it.
Anytime you want to come back on, you let me know. You're welcome to come back on here. Yeah,
great, yeah.
We'll get some folks together, and we'll have a seance. How many people can we do for this seance thing?
Well, we could probably do, for this room or for this area, we could probably do 6. I mean, normally when people can hire me for a at-home seance, 10 people or less.
Okay.
And or they can hire me for a psychic house party, which is a ton of fun. It's great. Kim has come to many of my house parties, and Kim, does it amaze you at the accuracy or what the people come out when they say what they say?
Right on. Actually, it's pretty fun. Actually, yeah. Because I like.
Now don't forget to give her the $10 for saying that too. No, of course I'm kidding.
No, she's paying me.
Now, how do you want to work
That's
this? Do you want to bring 3 people and I get 3 people? Or do you want me to get all 6 people and you do it with people you don't know?
Want me
to do that?
I like it when it's people that I don't know because
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
would think
invited
you
to
would.
people's
That's why I
homes,
asked,
yeah, because to me as a psychic, the less I know, the better. You know that, Bob.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be front-loaded. I don't want to
Yeah.
know any information about anybody because then that's putting my work at question.
That's why I have trouble, and I'm sure you find this too. I have trouble doing readings on friends and stuff like this because I already know so many things about them.
No.
You know, I know so much, so I try to look for things that you don't know that I know
Yes.
about you. I look for that, you know, because otherwise it's like so much stuff I already know about you. If I'm seeing it here and I'm telling you, so yeah, Bob, you know that already. You know.
Yeah, but
What's
when
the
I
big
go into
deal
an
here?
altered state, though, I'm not questioning what I'm seeing. I'm seeing it. I'm telling them, like my one sister was sick. I said, "You're sick and you're not going to the doctors? Why?" I had no idea. And she goes, "Oh, I'm having gallbladder problems." I had no idea. I said,
And just
"We
in
gotta
case,
get that handled."
just in case you're listening to this and you've never actually been to a séance, when you go to a real séance by a medium such as Jorianne would be, or some of the other ones, and some of the other folks that I've had on the show, if you listen to Paranormal Radio, it's very, very different experience from what you see on TV. We don't have a table levitating, we don't have tambourines flying through the room and this kind of stuff, so it's very different from what the Hollywood images of a séance to what an actual one is. Yeah, a serious séance. Yeah, it's a very different thing. Yeah.
And mine's a very spiritual ritual situation. We do not taunt or tempt any spirits. We are very respectful. I don't want anyone yelling at my dead relatives. We're not doing that to yours. We are having a very, to me, it's more of a holy, sacred experience when I do a seance.
And
for
also
people.
with a seance too, you really don't know who's coming in.
No.
You don't know. People that go to seances and try to contact great aunt Ethel or whatever, it doesn't. Sometimes you get lucky and she does come in, but it doesn't usually work that way. You get
And
other people.
I don't know if you're going to have a contest to let the winners come and participate in the seance. Well, some people do that.
That'd be fun.
Some stations do that, but they cannot have any alcohol in their system like 48 hours before they come. Otherwise, they will not be allowed at the seance.
Okay,
Because that just
so we can't get any
opens up-
people. We can't get any people from the bars or anything.
No
to do-
drinking or drugging.
No, trust me.
No
trust me. I don't.
last-minute partiers.
Trust me. I don't hang around with those type of people anyway. Yeah.
Well, no, just letting them know that if those are the requirements to participate in the seance with me.
Well, I'm sure I'll have no trouble finding 6 very willing participants to come on and do the seance, and this will be something to look forward to. So we will definitely do a show out of this. So yeah, we're looking
Great.
forward to it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, very much. Thank you for coming on.
Yes,
very
my
interesting.
pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much. Nice seeing you again, and thank you for
you.
coming on. You're welcome back anytime. And now you are coming back on. So
Yes.
and thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're very
Yes,
welcome, and thank
yes.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and everybody, please have a wonderful, safe holiday season here. Enjoy yourselves on the holidays. Christmas is coming up in a couple of days here. Have a real good time and stay safe over the New Year's holiday. If you are going out and partying and everything, please be reasonable. Get a designated driver for yourself, or do an at-home party where you don't have to go anywhere and that. So just be safe. Have fun, but be safe, and just everyone have a wonderful, blessed holiday and have a good time. And we'll be back on next month with Paranormal Radio in January. Thank you all so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Merry Christmas.
You have been listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Tricek from the John Levita Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich. Paranormal Radio was directed by John Levita, and a special thanks to the station manager of WRHS FM Norwich, Mr. Kevin Zeflik, and the executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network, Mr. John Shikanda. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Monday, December the 21st, the year 2015. On behalf of the entire staff of the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and the John Levita Broadcast Center, Merry, Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy, healthy New Year. Thanks for listening.